Hi YouTube, Engineer Boy 100. Want to see something cool? Watch this. Isn't that nice? Well, you know what would be even nicer? If the heated seats worked. Today we're going to be working on this 2020 BMW X3M Competition. We've had it for about a year, and so far we've had almost zero problems. But that time has passed. We've run into our first problem, and that is the heated seat element has failed. So with the help of the really helpful BMW of Elk Grove parts department, I have the parts, I now have the know-how, so we're going to raise this seat up, remove it, take the seat off, and change the heating element. So let's get right into it. Driver's side heated seat simply doesn't stay on. Turn it on, you get your three lights, and then by itself, it goes right back off. Gotta try and figure out what's wrong. The seat is held in place by four 50mm Torx bolts. So I'm going to raise the seat up and give myself access to those and remove those so I can take out the seat. We'll have some connectors, some electrical connectors underneath. Remember to take those out. Then I'll lean the seat back so I can take it around the A-pillar to remove it. Here's one. Now take out the other front bolt. With the seat almost fully forward, we now have access to the two 15mm rear bolts. These are Torx. Now all the bolts are loose. I'm going to lean the seat back so I can gain access to the bottom by leaning it over. Here's a quick experience tip that I learned after the fact when I put the seat back in. You do not need to turn the seat on its side to take the electrical connector loose. You can take it loose as the seat is sitting just as it is from the front. Here's this picture of what it looks like. You can take it loose before you even take the bolts loose. But you do need to put the seat on its side to take it out of the car. So you do need to put it on its side, but not to take the electrical connector loose. What I would recommend at this point is to disconnect the battery, the negative ground on the battery, because you can depress these buttons. Actually, they depress quite easily and activate the movement of the seat. They press on the ground, they press on anything they touch, and then cut you up real bad if your hands are in there, you're working, and then the seat starts moving. So I'm not sure of all the codes that might need to be saved or backed up yet on this vehicle, so I can't give that advice. You might want to check with the dealer on that. But I'm going to disconnect the negative battery cable so that I don't cut my hand off, sticking it in there to take things loose, and then the seat starts moving. Alright, so that is what I will be doing next. Okay, I'm going to show you guys where the battery is, and I'm going to let you watch me disconnect it, but we're entering into uncharted waters because I know you have to re-register the battery if you change the battery, but I'm not going to be doing that. So I think that there's about 30 minutes or an hour of an auxiliary battery that keeps all your codes, but I don't know for sure. We're going to find out. Anyway, the battery's under here. You just take this, pull it out like that, and there is your negative cable. I'm going to show you how to take that. It's just a 10mm nut right here on top. It loosens this up and pop that cable off. So I'm going to take that loose so that my seat doesn't activate and cut me while I'm working. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to take this big connector loose right here. You just push in on a little yellow plastic piece right underneath this black handle and simultaneously lower the handle. So you push in like that, lower it, okay, all the way down, and then this connector will come off. Okay, so that's the main connector. And then there's just a little plastic connector here, and I'll show you that when I get it off, and it just connects this wiring harness to the plastic frame. It's just a fastener, it's not an electrical connector. So you push this lower part in so that you can lower this black handle. Push that in, and you do it simultaneously. So I'm going to do it with my thumb, push it way in, and this will release this connector. So now the connector will come off. All right, so that's two. The last thing is there's another little I don't know what you call it, little thing that's stuck in here. You got to pull it out, and that's the only thing that's connecting this. So you got to kind of pull this little I'll get it out and then I'll show you what it looks like after, because it's hard to describe. It's just a little connector that connects the wire to the plastic frame. It's not an electrical connector. It's just like a fastener. All right, and you just got to work it loose. So I'll get it loose and then I'll show it to you. Then we'll take the seat out. All right, so I got that wire connector loose, and see, this is what it's just a little serrated connector, and you have to work it back and forth, work it, and then it just pulls out. You just want to just work it back and forth so you don't break it. Okie doke. So there you have it. Yeah, if you can lift up on the back of that, just lift it straight up. That's it. Yeah. Now that I got the seat out, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect this battery while I work on it, so it's not just sitting here disconnected the whole time. And that way, the auxiliary battery won't die on me. Once you have the seats out, perfect opportunity to do some underseat vacuuming. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the part itself. It's 8076 567-06. As you can see right there on the tag. And this is the orientation that it goes on the seat. All right, I'll take you underneath and show you where this cable goes, and I'll show you where this cable goes, okay, where they connect. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to go down underneath like so. Get a little bit of light under here, and that larger cable is this one right here. So this is the way you snake it, this is where you connect it, and it goes right into this module. I'm going to turn this chair on its side so you guys can see up inside of here. And then the little white one comes down through here and it connects right there. So now I'll turn it on its side so you can see where the other one plugs in. Okay, we're on our side now, and this is the wire, the big wire coming from the heating element, and it plugs in right here. So I'm just gonna press in right. Just gonna get in there a little bit farther. Yeah, press on this bottom part and pull that out. All right, so the element for the seat and the element for the leg rest are connected. So you have to take the leg rest off, and I think you have to do that first. So, all right, so we're going to take this portion, they call it the thigh rest, loose, and you want to push down on either side of these clips across this bar, and then pull it out from under these clips right here. So can you see these? Push down on either side and pull it out. Down either side, pull it out. And that's going to relieve this portion of the cover, which also has to come loose, because this is part of the heating element. Okay, similarly with the other side, we're going to push down on this portion really firmly and try and unhook this plastic edge from these brackets. Okay, so we're going to push down and back, down and back, so that you can. See, there's one came loose, and they're in there pretty good. So you don't want to break anything. So you're going to kind of massage it and down. Rotate it back out from under the clip. I wonder if I could just use the screwdriver and just pry a little bit like this, and without breaking it, and get it to let go. Let's see here. If I can get this to let go all the way across. Got to let go on a couple of them. A couple more, and got this one on the end, almost. You just gotta kind of push back that one, and then they just snap loose like that, and there we have this part loose. On to the next part. Alright, so next we're going to go and take loose two bolts, one here, one here. They're both T25, and that's supposed to release the entire lower footrest portion here. So let me try to give you a little bit better. Well, hopefully, let me see, can you see that? Can you see? If I can make it a little clearer. Right here. Here's one, and here's the other. But you can't see it because my hand's in the way. So I'm just going to take these loose. That one's loose. And I'll let you see it in a minute. Once I loosen it, I'll move my hand. That's loose, and then you can see like so. See? I didn't forget about you. Going to go like this. Take these two Torx bolts loose, and you should be able to see this thigh support come off. And according to the instructions, looky, see? It came loose just nicely, and here are the two screws. Alright, so now that the thigh support is taken loose, we can release this electrical connector, which is coming in right here actually. So I think this just pulls straight out. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. And this is the piece that I showed you earlier on the element itself. Alright, so now I need to take this plastic side piece off, and there is a screw under here that I need to get off. So I'm going to take this cover off first, and it snaps off. So you want to get in here. Don't mess up your plastic, but just snap it off, and you'll have access to that Torx. Alright, once that small cover is off, there's a T30 Torx screw. You want to remove that so that we can take the rest of this cover off, so that you can remove the cover here. Alright, so once you take that one Torx screw loose from right here, all you do is pry the back loose first, and then the rest will slide up and kind of this way. So I pried this part off, it snaps off, and then there's some holders here, and you kind of work this up off of those. There's two of them, one here and there's one in here, and then you gotta kind of just wiggle it. Move this a little bit so you see a little bit better. Watch me struggle. Don't want to break anything, so don't get impatient. Just do like that. And then it goes up, just like that, see? And I guess we could take this loose. Do I want to? We don't really need to. This can just stay like that. But now we have access to take the rest of this loose. And yeah, I think I'm going to take, because we had to turn this over to take the rear clamps off first. So I'm going to take this off and get it out of our way, which is pretty easy. All it is these little connectors are fastened into the actual plastic, and you just pull them out, and then you just push them back in, and then there's one electrical connector. So we will take that loose right here. I'm not even sure how that comes out, so I'll have to look at that and tell you guys in a minute. Yeah, see, like that. So these are just, they snap in, and this with the clamps on. This is a clamp on type, so it just pushes back on. And now we just take this, push in on these and slide this out, and it should be out of our way very shortly. Ta-da! And we'll put it aside. Now we can start peeling the seat cover off, starting at the back and peeling it forward. Put these hooks off the back side first. You can really stretch it, get a little bit of slack, and unhook it like that. Unhook them all. That was on tight. Let's see if I can get this one off. There's always one problem child. This guy is a little stuck. So we're gonna maybe have to use a screwdriver to pry it to loosen it up. I hope not. Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to have to start taking loose the little hog pins, hog clips. Like they look like this. And we have to take the old ones out and then put these new ones in when we replace the cover after we install the heating element. For now, I have to go off in there and take those loose all along the crevices. That's what holds the cover down and gives definition to the creases. To gain access to those little hog clips, we're going to need to take the perimeter loose here by just peeling it off all the way around so that we can roll the cover back and gain access to those clips. Take those loose, and then we can gain access to the heating element, replace it, and then put the cover back on. I think it's going to be easier to get this off if we remove this clip. So I'm going to take that clip off and then finish taking this off, flip it back over, and take out the hog clip. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one clip off. I'm going to take that little screw off, see if I can get you guys a little bit closer. And take this off. This one is, let's see what size this is. T27 to T27. So that's what size this one is. It might be a T30 though, because it feels a little bit loose. Let me check. See if I can get a T30 in there. Oh, it is a T30. Oops, it's T30, not 27. That should be interesting to get put back in. So here's what it looks like. I think it goes back in like, how does it go? Oh my. It goes in something like that. I'll put it on after this is removed. And here's the last piece. So we can turn this over and gain access to all of the clips. The little hog clips. Hog rings. Yeah, nice and loose. Loosey goosey.
You got a quick charger.
Alright, so we have the seat laying down, and it's easy to access the underside like this. And if you look, this seat has never been off before. This car from new. We have one of the hog clips here, a hog clip here, a hog clip here, and look at this. From new, a hog clip missing. So I will be replacing that. But what you do is you take these loose first, and then you peel it back some more, and then you can get to the next set and the next set. Then when you put it back on, you start with the back, and you work your way forward, and you put these on last. So I'll be doing that next. I think we just have to get a screwdriver and gently persuade that little guy out. There's two of them, and that will allow me to take the cushion off, completely off, so that I can work on it off of the seat. Sides, and you can see there are little clips here. As you go down here, see clips, 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 clips. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm going to go through, take all the clips out, and then when we're done, put the new clips in that I showed you. We have a special. Here are the new clips. They have a special little spring-loaded. Reverse spring-loaded, see, hog ring clip pliers that hold it. They hold the little hog ring. They hold it, and then you put it around where you want it, and then crimp it into place. So we'll be doing that when we reinstall the cover. All right. So to make it easier on myself to get the ones going across the seat like this. There's two on either side, right here. Okay, I already took those two off. And then across the back, if you look across the back, you just roll this up and turn it around. You can see down off in there are some clips that need to come out across the back. And that makes it easier to peel the side to side. So I'll be doing those, and then I'll go back to the sides. Alright, so I got the first set of hog rings off. So once I get that off, you can see here, now I can go to the next row. See, this comes off. I think I have one in here I need to get still. But here's the next row. And you just repeat that all the way across. Alright, so now I got the second row off, and you can see we can peel the cover back even farther. So now I have, I think it's either one or two. Yeah, two more rows. One row here, and then the last row. And then this seat cover will come off. Now, we can already see the heating element here on the seat. Okay, and it's been adhered down nicely. So what's going to happen is, because of the adhesive is so tightly glued to the cushion and you will destroy the cushion if you try to take it off. I'm just going to put the old one over the new one. And then we're going to call it good. We're going to leave it on and put the new one over the top of the old one. Let you guys watch me take one loose. So here's one of those little hog rings. I just grab it with the needle nose, bend it open, and take it off with the two wires. Just like that. Go up to the next one. Well, looky here. Look what I found. This is why it was burning my left thigh. We were right. It was the element. That is burned through. Yeah, so these broken, burnt wires on the old one, I'm just going to snip them off. It burns my foam too. And the new one has a slightly different pattern. As you can see, this is like a forked pattern here on the coils. And the new one, you put that down, you can see it doesn't have a forked pattern. It has like a little U pattern. A little bit of U pattern. The forked pattern. It's a little different. That's fine. But I'm going to cut these off too, because we're not going to be using this. So, adios amigo. And the little front one, I'm going to cut that off as well. We don't need those extra confusing wire connectors in the way. And we're just going to go right over the top of this old one with the new one, line it up, and then we'll put the cover back on. We'll just have a little bit more padding, and all will be good with the world. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the back first. Then I'm going to do this side. Then I'm going to do the center. Then I'm going to do this side. Because there's no adhesive under here, it makes it easier to move things around. So I'm going to do this and get it lined up the way it needs to be. And this is supposed to line up right with this edge, so this can go where it needs to go. So I'm going to do this first. So here we go. No turning back. No turning back from here. So one panel at a time. Alright, so now I know my wire is where it needs to be. So this is good. Now I'll tuck these down and I'll line all these up with the holes. And then I'll attach this side. It's lining up nicely. Now I'll start looking at how I want this to line up with the edge. I think I can just take the rest off now. Alright, so we have 1, 2, Now we can do the centerpiece, and then I'll do this piece last. This is pretty easy because there's only adhesive along the front. So I think I'm just going to turn it over so I can see what I'm doing. And turn it around so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm already lined up, so I'm just going to pull it slightly snug like so. Turn it over. Double check, everything's nice. Lined up well. Now we do this last edge over here. This goes all the way down. And there you go. Now all we have to do is put our cover back on, put the seat back on the frame, and put the seat back in the car. So this is what you're aiming for with the hog rings. If you go down in the crack, you can see that there is a hog ring here, and it's around 2 wires. And one of the wires is this, okay? And here are your targets. So you try to go into these around the other wire. So here's a one that doesn't have any. Here's one of the wires along the back. So you have to go down into these holes with the targets and wrap one wire around the other. Alright, so when putting in these hog rings, I'm going to go from left to right first, and then once these are down, it'll be easy to just flop this down and go across the back, doing the 2 on either corner. So I'll let you know when it's done. Alright, so you have all the hog rings in. As you can see, you have a nice defined crease everywhere. Along here, creases on the back, all done. So now we'll start from the front, curl the cover around, get it back on, and work it all the way around. And the final thing that we'll do is hook the back on the frame once it's in the back in the seat. All right, so we'll just do that and just curl this back over. As a matter of fact, we probably can do that while it's in the seat, because we need to curl it over the frame. So this is ready to go back on the chair. I think we can put this over this first. Put this elastic down. It's going to be pretty hard to do that after the fact. Alright, so once the seat cover's back on, here's a brief recap of where the side brackets go for the seat controls. Remember that this one goes here, this one goes here, and you have the electrical connector with a clip here and clip here. Okay, and you start off with putting the front on first and then work it back. And there's one 30mm Torx bolt that's going to be left over. It's the short one of the 3, and it's going to go here and connect here. Once you put this back up, it's going to go here. Alright, I'll put it back together, and next thing we'll be putting it back in the car. Okay, all reassembled and it's ready to go back in the car. But let me show you another really important reason why you want to disconnect that battery before messing with those electrical connectors on this seat. Look right here. Look very carefully. What do you see here? Look right there. Okay, you see that? You don't want that to go off on you. Okay? There's an airbag in here. So disconnect that battery and give it some time. Like 30 minutes, and then take the seat out. Okay, so now that we have the seat back in the car, all we have to do is connect the electrical connector and then line up the mount holes and bolt the seat down. Now, a reminder, while I'm doing all this, the battery is disconnected. It's disconnected because there's an airbag in that seat, and I don't want it going off while I'm working on it. And I don't want the mechanism accidentally actuating while my hands are around any of the moving parts. The battery is disconnected. I'm going to connect up the electric connector, remount the seat, and then reconnect the battery and see if she has heated seats. So let's see. Well, we're all done. This is where the rubber meets the road. First of all, let's see if the battery even works, see if it'll start, and then we'll see if the light comes on for the heated seat and stays on. Whereas before, when the wire was burned out, immediately after turning it on, it would turn off. And then we have to see if it gets warm. So let's turn it on and see if the car even works. Nice. All right, well, let's see if the heated seat works on the driver's side. Lights on. Let's see if it stays on. It didn't do that before.